completely fine. That is completely fine. I mean, you better. Oh, can they hear me? Wait. Oh, they definitely can hear me. Alright, I am going to do a little audio test to see if I am still audible on the stream. I super am. I super 100% am. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our campaign. This is, I think, the penultimate session. It might be the ultimate session based on how fast these guys go.
I think we need 4 more sessions.
Can't have that. You can have today and one other.
Let's do another year.
Yes,
Next season.
Next season will be a while in the future. First, we're playing Eldritch Horror game because I want to play Eldritch Horror game. So, without further ado, my beloved players, who are you and who are you playing?
I will start again, I guess. I'm Rose. I play Cam, a changeling druid who recently talked to not their dad, but kind of their dad, and has come to terms with the fact that time passes faster than you want it to. Right now I'm near a campfire, I think. Yeah.
Hello, I am May, and I play a half-orc cleric named Fig. To all of you, he's got more of a name, but no, he's just Fig. And let's see, what else about him? Yeah, he has to go off his gut instinct, and he still gets tummy aches about it, but he'll do it.
World's strongest soldier.
Hello, I'm Feather. I'm playing Throgyn, who started off as a dwarf turned kenku, but has recently become a full bird with the help of his friends, who even helped him make wings. I love you for that. I'm very grateful to have you. Throgyn is very grateful to have you as friends. Yeah.
And last but certainly not least.
Hello, my name is Sunny Kay, and I play Yuka, the Witch of the Woods, the steward of the Lord Bastille and the Lady Verdant, a half-elf druid who is ready to tell a story, maybe for the last time. We'll see.
Then, without further ado, our 4 compatriots have found themselves sitting in a tavern. It is a warm place of dwarfish build, built into the caves inside of a mountain. There is a dwarf running the bar, sitting, polishing a glass. Every so often you see he pours another pint. And in has walked a doctor, black hair, elvish heritage, dressed nicely, but you can see the flies crawling out of his pockets. And somehow, in the midst of all of this, the 4 of you sit on the floor at a table. In between all of you, a campfire roaring to life. What do you do?
Before we do that, I don't know, like the background music is like a little punchy if when we're talking softer.
Better?
Someone talk, please.
Hello. Our master in-house mixer.
We love you, May.
I didn't want that to overpower, like, if we have softer moments, because...
Yes.
May, you're so important.
We also do have very gentle voices in this call, so we're going to... I believe when last we left off, we sat around the campfire and we looked at the tools that we had, and we began our tale with Once Upon a Time. And now we're going to tell the story of how we got here and what we'll do next. Once there were 4 unlikely compatriots who met in a tavern. take the request of a contractor. Yuka is going to gesture. Who has the Tragedium stone right now?
I believe you do.
Okay, great. Then she's just gonna hold it. Placeholder object. The four compatriots were strangers to each other. And yet they traveled together through the town of Ironcliff, through the roads, and into the woods.
And
where
as
they
if on
came.
cue,
Mm-hmm.
you watch as the scene around you shifts. First, the four of you, though you have not moved from your location and though you do not feel any movement around you, the scene shifts to you shooting down a dirt road, a well-traveled trade route, and then crashing through the undergrowth until you end up in the forest, next to a house, old manor, run down, with something rattling in the basement.
They skirmished with some of the locals and made their way inside. And in the basement, they found something. And she's gonna pass the stone after giving it a squeeze and just blowing on it a little bit to Fig.
Now, Fig, as you are past the stone, you see 3 tragediums appear. 2 of them, you notice immediately pick up swords and crossbows. Almost as if they were always like that and you had just missed it. Between a blink, they turn into bandits. And the third waits for instructions on what they need to become.
As we battled with these, if I recall correctly, goblin foes, we investigated the crumbling ruin that held a rather unholy monstrosity within, one that perhaps we weren't quite ready for, but we did our best to learn and recover what items we could that it had been guarding. It might have been guarding, I don't know. It was so long ago, guys.
You see the third tragedium shrugs onto its shoulders a pelt. It's large and brown and coarse, almost like bear, cat, beast hair. And you see that it hunches over and it takes on a more animalistic appearance, pacing back and forth with these large dew-clawed paws, talons. It seems to shift and change. Occasionally it has wings or a serpent's tail. Sometimes it is simply a boar. It was given the instructions to guard and to be a beast, but no more. So it stands there guarding some artifacts until it is slain.
I could give you a better description if you wanted.
It's up to you.
Of a what was once a dragonborn, specifically a white dragonborn that was in this cellar basement of this ruin that had been returned to life through less than proper channels, as to say.
And with that description, you watch as the tragedium shrugs off that beastly garb and becomes more draconic. Gleaming white scales that you can see rotting and falling off of its form. It is humanoid, but it came back wrong. Limbs are broken and fused the wrong direction. It scrapes, and when it tries to vocalize, you hear that its vocal cords themselves are shredded and rotten. You believe that based on how you tell this story, the outcome may change.
There was also a hound that we got bit a lot too, but
Fourth tragedium, dog.
As Fig says that we had recovered the notes that we were tasked with recovering, and we did inspect a sword on the wall, but I'll leave what happens to that up to Throgyn. And then I in sort of her motion, touch it to the sensor, pass it on.
And because we were very forward thinking, we also grabbed the sword Cursebreaker. Threadbreaker, the sword who goes by many names.
You watch as a sword appears, and it is a very old sword, but for some reason the blade shows no sign of rust. There is a red gem at the base of the hilt that glows ever so slightly. Throgyn, you feel that the sword on your waist begins to hum. You can tell that it's magical, but it's not doing anything. It's more just like it's recognizing the same frequency.
Okay.
It's like, okay, we skipped that portion.
Jeremiah no longer gets Cursebreaker.
Wait, so you okay, we'll need to see about Jeremiah. The damage the dog did caused wounds and, a slowdown of our journey. But because all of us cared for each other and cared for, getting each other better, we survived. And we went back.
Unless you wanted Yuka to Lady Yuka to be in a pot of goo again, which was fun. And I look over the bonfire to Yuka and be like, it's up to you though. You don't have to if you don't want to. I know it was a little bit out of our ways, but
well, it is a part of the story, and it would be dishonest and to the detriment of the audience to leave it out. Especially because of the involvement of, well, the character that needs to be introduced next.
Would you like to introduce him?
You know, I think it would be fair to get the most objective opinion from those of us who never holds back, whose honesty is very much appreciated. I think you ought to let Cam have a turn.
I don't have a stone, therefore it's not what counts.
Sorry, going from a little Hot Wheels car to a cow is killing me.
Where were we?
Uh,
Yes, we went back to Iron Cliff, where we met with our contractor, Dr. Patcher. What's his name?
And you see
Vasily.
a new tragedium appears. The scene around you shifts once again. You are no longer standing in the forest. Instead, you are standing in the grand caverns of Ironcliff. A tragedium steps forwards, and you see that he has no... originally, he has no costume on him. After Cam says the doctor, the bachelor, you see that he adds a white coat and a big old, like, leather bag, waiting for his cue and his description.
Not a doctor.
I corrected myself. We also skipped over the Yuka qualification.
The coat goes away.
We went back to Ironcliff to talk to talk to Dr. Huscati, right? First, and then we came back to the woods to get Yuka potted. I don't remember. It was a year and several world events earlier.
Doesn't matter.
That's a good question.
Nope.
Okay, so we went to Dr. the other one, the double name one, Huscati.
Dr. Ascati Morog.
And you see the tragedium takes on a shorter stature, fills out, and becomes a lovely middle-aged dwarf lady. Doctor's coat, very well groomed and wearing a mask.
Where we talked about some of the symptoms some of us were having, and we got sent. 10 minutes. Oh no. Was the flower, like, collecting the flowers after Yuka, right?
Yes, Yuka was with us
was
when we...
sufficiently plotted. Player me genuinely does not remember the order of things.
It's okay. It's okay.
I
I have a
ask again. Does it matter?
To player me, yes. To, like, the story, probably not.
Okay. This is your Ember Island Players episode. Do what you want.
You're so right. You're so right.
I don't want to mess up the side the scar is on.
It was always on that side. What are you talking about?
Oh no. So we met Dr. Huscati Monroe, who told us that to help with the symptoms that some of us were experiencing, we had to go collect some flowers to make medicine, which completely derailed us from our task of delivering the papers. So we went where we were told to go, spent a lovely day collecting flowers, and Cam had their first interaction in years indirectly with the Feywild.
Now, Cam, as you're telling this story, you watch as the scene around you shifts once again to a field filled with blue flowers. You, specifically Cam, are going to notice that these flowers seem a little bit more real than the other stuff that's been appearing around you all.
Okay, but player me remembers them being yellow, so now I'm
then
confused.
they are yellow flowers, and I have confused my own flowers.
Yellow.
Yellow flowers.
Yellow.
But they seem more real.
They do seem more real.
As we're still in the field, can I just try and pluck a flower before I hand off the cow to the next person?
As you pluck a flower, you almost expect your hand to phase through it. While your words have been able to affect the scene and the tragedians around you, none of you have tried to touch any of them. And you've gotten the distinct sense that that is not per the rules of this stage play. Cam, as you reach out, you find that you can grab onto these flowers, and as you pluck them, you feel them humming a little bit in your hand.
And I hand off the cow stone with it squished to whoever looks the most willing to continue talking.
You pick.
Okay, Fig. There you go, Fig.
As I receive this stone token item, I also recall some very meaningful items that we had received while traveling between our points of interest that came along with a shocking figure that did not seem to speak at first, but then quickly turned into a chatterbox.
Can I please summon he? Like actually summon him, not... Well, okay, whatever. Can I summon he?
I need you to tell me how you're gonna summon he.
I think she's going to just, like, wrap her hand in the air like she's knocking on a door.
And you will all see that as Yuka knocks on the air, a small door, like, folds outwards until it's about the size of a halfling, or half of a halfling.
Quarterling.
Quarterling. Don't like that. And it opens up, and stepping through is a creature. This creature is dressed in plain black pants, nice enough leather shoes, but nothing too fancy, nothing snazzy. What looks to be button-down shirt, very strange style for most of you. Suspenders and static for a head. Where am I?
We're telling the story. If you'd like to join us, we just came to your part.
And you watch as he sits down, but it seems forced in some way. Like whether he had said yes or not, he was going to sit regardless.
Hey.
Throgyn and Cam, you both see a small thread of gold, almost like an outline around him.
Well, as we received these items from a mysterious figure in a bubble of ash on a long table, or not a bubble of falling ash-like substance.
Ash globe.
Yeah.
Like snow globe, with ash.
And it wished for us to take these items in a type of contract so that it would be able to speak.
And this is the only time you haven't seen a tragedian appear when you mention a new creature. You notice that none appears, none dressed as he would be dressed. Rather, you watch as a table appears, not blocking the fire, but a table appears in front of he, where he is sat at the fire. And on it, a spread of items appear.
And so it goes that at first, the blowpipe and its ammunition were rejected by Lady Yuka, but then later accepted but lost in the woods before being recovered. Then a book of significant and special interest to Fig was quickly grabbed up, even though he later learned what the book was indeed made out of, and he never wished he touched it at all. And then
You had the chance to change that, Jeffrey.
It's important to me that it's there, okay?
Can I just
Zipper
hand out
lips.
slices of the pie that I got in the Feywild ages ago? Like 2 days ago, but
I mean, yeah, it's a little bit stale. If you can hand out slices
I mean,
of pie.
we don't have s'mores, but we do have pie.
We do
There
have
was-
s'mores. They're in my hand.
Throgyn says this and holds up his hand, and you all notice that his hand is still empty.
Okay.
Pie?
Wait a moment. And then a jawbone of magical strength was accepted by Chamomile, and a small miniature-sized alchemical kit was received and then gifted to Throgyn eventually.
And as Fig describes these items, Cam, once again, and also Fig because you're holding the stone right now, you two will notice that the blowpipe begins to hum ever so slightly.
If you wanted to ritually sacrifice some things, that would be...
Yuka is going to move her hand in like a magician's sleight of hand, parlor trick fashion. And when she finishes the movement, the blowpipe is in her hand.
I do want a sleight of hand roll from you.
Okay. Well, I just thought it'd be fun, but
It would be fun, but I want a sleight of hand roll from you.
it falls out of her hand immediately. Please. I want this to work. This would be fun. Okay, 15.
You watch as Yuka does exactly what Yuka says Yuka does.
And then she does the same thing with the other hand with the ammunition. And she looks rather like the Hierophant or the Magician tarot card in the Rider-Waite deck.
That's your fan art prompt, go. Anyways.
Go, 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 go.
I'd say as we receive the items, even if we didn't know the significance of some of them at the moment, we did learn that there was a connection between them and perhaps the magical energy of something we discover later as we return to Ironcliff, talked to Dr. Huskynrogue, but then encountered a rather interesting fellow in the market streets named Jeremiah, and I headed over to Throgyn.
Another tragedy M appears, costumeless, waiting for instruction, as the scene around you shifts from the Dome of Ash into the streets of Ironcliff once again.
I thought we met Jeremiah in the woods.
They shift to the woods.
We meet in the woods, near the statues, if I'm correct. The dragon statues. Or is that later? That's way later. I'm sorry. We meet in Iron City.
Throgyn, would you like some help?
Yes, please.
Okay, she'll temporarily take the stone.
Okay, perfect.
Before we meet Jeremiah, it's important to remember that the party, some of them were injured and infected with something that was rather degenerative to their health. And so, the sickest of the party went to her home and begged her patron for help. And that help came in the form of a pod.
Now, crucially, the scene shifts to the woods, which you've already seen, this time with a pod. Orange, goopy, almost looking like resin. Amber. However, the tragedium standing next to it is still just a tragedium. They gain a shroud of leaves, but there's only so much that costuming can do. And Yuka, looking at this tragedium, you notice that even though they are a deity to you, in this space they are represented the same as all others. Tragedium playing a role.
With the aid of the Lady Verdant, the goddess of flora and mycelium, the primordial deity of all the forest growth in these woods, Yuka, the witch, her patron steward, was placed in a deep sleep to facilitate her healing. But before she fell into that sleep, she placed a curse upon the man who led her and her newfound compatriots to those horrible papers and that decrepit mansion and those bandits and that cursed dog.
And Yuka. You are still sitting at the fire. You are still holding the stone. Yet, as you look at your hand, it is suddenly paler. You feel your hair shrink, no longer falling down your back, but landing somewhere near your neck. Though you feel your clothes are the same as they were, they appear much richer, much more city than you are used to. To the rest of you around the fire, Yuka is no longer sitting near you. Rather, it is the Dr. Vasil Vitale.
And so it was. The wretched witch put a curse upon the handsome bachelor. Who has devoted his life in full to understanding thanatology, necromancy, and infectious disease. The human condition, life as we know it. Mortality in and of itself. If there even needs to be an end at all. Which he totally did not deserve.
And then you see a gash begin to appear in his chest.
Okay. He deserved it a little bit.
Throgyn. You feel a humming coming from the blood pouring out of Vasil's chest. It matches the humming that Cursebreaker is emitting right now.
That's a fun connection. Okay.
And so, the witch cursed the bachelor to be forgotten. His name lost to the annals of time. Unless he aid her in recovery. And so, he reluctantly joined this band of hooligans and returned with them to gather the treatment for others who had been experiencing symptoms of this illness, which led them to the dragon statues at the former border between Grunk and Oberon. And he'll hand the stone to Big.
Yes,
Yuka,
we had.
as you hand the stone away, you feel like you can make a choice. Do you let Vassal slip away, never to be retrieved again? Or do you stay presenting as him, even if it changes you permanently?
I feel like I'm being presented with a false dichotomy here. Because Vassal's still part of the story. So he should stay until he's not
Okay.
who this puppeteer was playing anymore.
Then he stays. Fig. The scene around you shifts, and you are standing at the former site of the barrier. How many dragon statues surround you, Fig?
As far as Fig sees, he'd love to see all 5 in perfect condition.
And so you do.
And he sees all 5 dragons, with their different auras and circles of magic surrounding them. The one with, let's say, like, purple energy. The one with lightning energy. One with sort of ice energy. One with fire energy. And one with acid, I believe, type of energy.
How does he react to us being by the statues again?
You notice that he is not moving. Not even his static is moving.
Like he's put on pause?
A little bit like that, Cam.
How would you say he's like positioned right now? Like, would he have like a hand out that I can put a piece of pie on his hand?
You gave him the pie already, so it's just, he's already holding it, and there's like a bite taken out of it.
Then it's good. Then he has pie. Great. That's the important part.
He has pie. He's been eating the pie.
Great. That's Fig been eating the pie.
He was, but then dragon statues appeared and he's dropped.
Okay, great.
Eating.
I got someone to eat my fate food. Awesome.
Yeah. That doesn't have consequences, right? Okay.
No, absolutely not. I don't know what's going on.
Yes, as Fig encounters this wondrous area of great historical importance, he does distract them a little bit, enough so that he doesn't really hear a few bandits and their was it a bear? No, it was, we turned into a bear. That's it. And their hounds approach, but
You see that one tragedy in the background just like makes a shucks motion as he turns away from a bear into a dog.
Yeah. And, while Camille had graciously, been making a few smaller replicas of said, statues, Throgyn was very much, I believe, the MVP of this encounter by harnessing the power of said purple dragon statue to dispose of the bandits, and we had a bear. That was great too.
Fair.
Power
And,
of bear and Glock.
So I'm also trying to remember what happened after this.
Jeremiah happens.
Okay.
Or should
If,
remember.
If as we finished our exploratory session in vanquishing of foes, we found a very interesting, I'm not gonna say friend. We hoped he'd be a friend, but
Throgyn's
perhaps he was just an acquaintance, and then
Throgyn had a fling.
Jeremiah was the sole survivor of the bandit group that attacked us, and Throgyn, I was the main person that showed him kindness. And then when he led us to the place we needed to be for more medicine, I believe, he and I had a brief intertwining of fates going on.
That's what you're calling it.
Yeah, that's a good name, right?
Yeah.
We had a brief intertwining of fates when we went back to make sure that Yuka was safe. I think at this point we went back to Yuka's home to make sure that she was safe and to give her the medicine that we had prepared. We gave Yuka the medicine, and she was able to recover and to come with us. Yuka, will you do me the honor of continuing our story?
It would be my honor and my pleasure. Wasil Vitali returned to Ironcliff, and he left behind a trinket, something offered by the merchant, who now sits with us at this fire. She, nudges he a little bit with her elbow to see if he moves, or to see if he responds.
So as soon as you mention he again, you notice that his static starts shifting again. And it's almost, and he immediately starts taking another bite of the pie like he had been frozen in time.
She just kind of looks at him sadly. Because I think she's figuring out what's going on with him. And she still needs him here for the part she's thinking about doing next. The artifact that was left behind by the merchant, that was left behind by the bachelor, provided by the merchant, regardless of who it was intended for, resulted in a localized infection of sort. Where it ended up, it was taken by forest creatures with the intent to bring it home to the Witch of the Wood, and it never made it. Instead, it was stuck in the earth, protruding like a dead branch. And it sickened the land. And the goddess who protected it. And all the while, the party, now whole, had traveled to the coastal city of Baratara, looking for answers. As the affliction spread in Ironcliff, there were also wires draped around the city that only the party members could see. And when touched, as was experienced by Jeremiah, so I heard, I was not there, a tragedian was left in his place, as if he'd been swapped out and replaced in the blink of an eye by a magician's sleight of hand. It was at that point the party knew they needed to understand how these wires, how this illness, how these symptoms were spreading, and what they could do to help. And upon reaching Baratara, they found conditions there were that of a nigh total quarantine. And she looks around the campfire for anyone who looks eager to tell the next part of the story. Would someone like to volunteer?
Before you do that...
Maybe not me, but I want Fig to read. And Fig reads Vassal Vitali's notes because he kept them from him secretly.
I do believe you lost those, Fig.
Shh.
I do believe you lost those last session, Fig.
But they're here now because we're in the past.
I'll allow it.
Ooh, I have an idea. Yuka reaches wherever Fig is, and just like she holds the stone at the same time that he does.
Mm-hmm.
While he tells that part of that detail of the story.
Now, Fig, this is in the past. So I would say that yes, you could reach around behind you and find that there is a prop that looks suspiciously like the lost pages.
Mm-hmm.
However, before the scene shifts and before Fig receives the stone, Yuka, you described an item that was lost.
It
ended up sticking out of the ground.
It did.
You find, outside of the ring of the campfire where you all sit, there is a jar. Glass jar with one of those lids that flips and hinges sideways. It's humming, ever so slightly, with the same frequency as the blowgun you hold.
Can she reach the jar?
You can.
She's gonna disassemble the blowgun in her hands and put it in the jar.
As you do this, Yuka, you notice that the both of them end up merging and melting together. What you begin to hold looks like a small clump of bloody furs and thorny vines wrapped together. And as a druid, you would almost consider this a casting focus.
Just
You
gonna
have the
place it
distinct feeling that
on the
this
ground.
part is almost complete. You have the distinct feeling that this part is almost complete.
Ooh, okay. She'll keep going then. Is that okay with the rest of the group?
Sorry, let me specify that this item is almost complete.
Item.
Okay, gotcha. No problem. Then she'll hand it off to who remembers what we did in Baratara well.
I recall.
She's giving it to Fig.
Sorry, I need a new item. On the sort of long road to Baratara, Fig will reach behind him into his satchel to pull out Mr. Vassal Vitali's notes. Be up to the DM if there's words there or if they're just like blank scribbles.
Have you ever looked at like written words in a dream?
Mm-hmm.
It's that. Looking at it,
Yep.
you can read it, but if you ever actually try and focus on it, you notice that there's not words on the page.
That's.
You do notice as you focus on it that it's humming ever so slightly.
Yep. So I then set that in front of me next to my red rose book. Which.
You let them touch each other.
Yeah, I do.
As one of the leaves of pages falls upon the rose book, you watch as the book flips open and the pages sort of slip and merge in with the existing ones. Instead of a blank book and dreamlike pages, you now have sitting in front of you a book made of vellum, a book bound in hard mahogany with gold dripping off the edges of the pages like fresh ink. Fig, you get the distinct sense that this is almost like a spellcasting focus, and that the item is almost complete.
Yes. And as the Lady Yuka said, we walked into a town mainly deserted and empty, with wind picking up in the distance, with danger approaching in the streets, as we were told of the rising water that would soon flood even more of the city. We tried to make our way to the hopefully expert that was mentioned by Dr. Scotty Marogue, a Charles, if I recall correctly, in the library at Baratara. It was there that we had learned, and with our jar of goo, which we did have, that our items had the same energy that this malignant disease had on these people, and that they had a room full of sick people who were slowly forgetting, along with a rather very smart and maybe witty engineer by the name of Taffeta, who had helped to protect said library and building. We were tasked with, I don't know, I think we sort of chose to. We were tasked to help the city against the flooding, as with the quarantine, the seawalls were not, or levees. I'm not in an ocean city. I'm forgetting what they're called.
Dikes?
The dikes, yes, those. That they were not raised up, with all the engineers either sick or staying safe away from the city. So, as we found the control center, we we did our best to magically attune to service the city, and there's a big magical tin cup just floating in the bay.
And as you say that, Fig, behind you feel a crash, and the earth begins to shake a little bit. Cam, you notice that there is a tin cup. It seems ginormous, but you know that it fits in your hand. And it's humming ever so slightly.
And,
Can I
as...
grab it?
You absolutely can. And as you grab it, you feel again that it's humming ever so slightly in the same frequency as the flower you picked earlier.
And, as we helped said city, we were then mentioned to return to Ironcliff to report our findings, even though I think this time we were quite waylaid. Waylaid? I don't know. By a certain trip to a location that perhaps Cam, if it... This is the Feywild time, yes?
This is Feywild time, yes.
Yes.
If the lovely Chamomile would like to describe our entry and our first experiences, or at least first experience for those new to the Feywild.
No response. Okay.
I can't quite see what it is.
It's a little mushroom.
Oh, Bubby! I love Bubby.
So first we walked into the bubble alternate dimension thing where he resides most of the time, I think. Covered in all the stuff people lose, sorted into neat, I guess, piles of semi-organized, mostly junk.
And as you say
I
that,
no
the scene
offense.
around you shifts into these massive piles reaching up as high as you can see of various amounts of junk and lost things.
And after some conversations that I don't remember because I wasn't paying attention, he creates a door for us to leave, which leads us to the Feywild.
You watch as the
Question mark.
You watch as the piles around you shift and alter, and again you see upturned carts and horse bridles and sets of armor, wholesale animated and non-animated. And then there's a door, and you feel yourselves all go through it, and then you are in the Feywild. This place of shimmering lights, bright colors, loud noises, overwhelming to anyone not expecting it.
Immediately I have to babysit 3 people, which I didn't expect to have to do. You know, sometimes it just be like that. And with that, we're off to... You good, Fig?
Big had a headache the whole time he was in the Feywild.
He's reliving his migraine experience.
Uh,
Yuka has to actively stop herself from getting into
Cat
a
mode.
cat form and hiding in a place that is small and comfy.
Speaking
So-
of, Yuka, do you still look like Vasil?
She's Yuka again.
Okay.
When Fig described Yuka rejoining the party, that's when she turned back into Yuka.
Yuka, you look like yourself again. You feel mostly like yourself again. However, something flutters in your chest. Smaller than you're used to.
Mhm.
Throgyn, That
Her tits. What have you done?
Throgyn, that blood that had been dripping from Vassal's chest that was humming. You feel like you missed something. It might still be here, but it will be much more difficult to obtain.
I did skip over Rock a little bit, but
It's
that's
alright.
just because...
She loves you. Anyways, continue, Cam. Sorry, I just needed to make that small correction.
Wait, no. As soon as Cam got the stone, they had two things in their hands. So they
Yes.
threw the flower into the cup and then received the stone.
Well, fun fact, as you throw the flower into the cup, you are going to watch as they both begin to meld together in your hand. And what comes out is, it looks like a plaster as it melts down your hand and solidifies into a
Wait. No, please continue, and then I have a question.
as it melts down your hand, covering the hand of the tragedian.
That was my question.
It looks partially like a plaster cast, but you also see that there are little designs carved into it, joints, manipulation points, and you see, only in the way that you can, as somebody who works with stone for a living, you see the tiny little foundation cracks where it can shift and change, and you could stretch and pull if you wanted to change shape. This feels almost like a spellcasting focus, though it's still missing a part.
Huh. Anyway,
Continue.
this arm's been through so much.
Yes.
But yes, I had to babysit some idiots in the Feywild, which I will admit did not go as smooth as I'd hoped to, because 2 of my 3 idiots got into debt. Small debts, thankfully, but still debts nonetheless. We went to visit my uncle, who, well, like, it was fun seeing him again. It was not nearly as useful as I'd hoped. But we did get sent towards. Someone give me the name of the lady.
The mistress.
Fairy lady. It was just the mistress. I thought
it was just the mistress.
I thought that was another name. Okay.
And then-
You think a fae would give you their name?
It doesn't have to be a real name.
You think I would
Could be a
forget my
stage
wife's
name.
name?
You didn't get
That's
married.
fine.
You were just engaged.
It's
in
it's
the library, I
far,
believe,
it's
as
far
well.
less legally messy that way.
No, before that, we went to the library. Because if you want information, you go to the place with the books. Which is why I never want information. But to the books we went. Where Fig was both in heaven and hell at the same time. In the library, there were large owl creatures. And as happens in a library, some people get really into the books and they just disappear in like for a while. And like the rest of us find other shit to do. I don't remember what the other people read because I don't really care. So if someone wants to say anything about the books they read, please.
Ooh, give it to Throgyn.
Yeah, because Throgyn
Boy.
had a very interesting encounter.
I met a dear friend there, a fellow Kenku, someone who also had the ambition to fly, but who had been stuck in that library due to this ambition to reach the sky and had thus lost everything. But after our wonderful conversation, he shared with me his plans, the plans that he had made, the blueprints that he had made, to at one time be able to fly. And I need this story to reflect that he existed.
Throgyn, you watch as around you shifts into the Alks library. You watch that a tragedium comes out, dressed in Aarakocra garb, quickly shifted to Kenku. And he exists. Orville exists.
Can I give him a hug?
As you get up from the fireplace, the tragedium steps forwards, and you can hug him. And for a brief moment, he is back, and real, and breathing.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. Look what we made.
They
I
fit
spread
you
my
well,
wings.
little bird.
Thank you. All thanks to you.
I'm glad to see it real. I believe
I hope you
have
rest.
something for you. And you see that Orville reaches into a breast pocket and pulls out a small brass mechanical creation. A crane that when you wind up the key on its back, flaps around in little circles around your head. It hums with the same magic that Cursebreaker is currently humming with.
I take it. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. Tell your story. And as Orville steps away from you, it goes away from being Orville, back into being a tragedian dressed like him.
I sit back down at the fire. Yuka, can I ask you something quickly?
Of course.
There's something that I missed and that I should have taken. And I am wondering if you would mind if I used a fossil skin breaker to prick your fingertip.
I'll allow it. She
Thank
holds her
you.
hand out.
I-
Not Dominic.
I grab fossil skin
and the
breaker.
dexterous.
She would be. I grab out a fossil skin breaker, and I ask him if he's ready to do this.
As I always am.
Thank
You
you.
be quick about it.
I quickly try to do it in your thumb. Try to do it. Shit, I'm
Vile
sorry if that
bird.
was too wrong.
Throgyn.
She shifts back into Yuka and is like,
Shit.
Throgyn, you draw blood. However, you notice that this blood is not humming like the blood that poured from his chest.
hmm.
And Yuka, there is still that flutter there.
When she looks down at her chest, what does she see?
If you look down mundanely, you simply see your chest. If you give me a medicine check or a nature check.
Can I
The left
add to
one's
that
still
an
bigger than
arcane
the right
check?
one.
Yeah, Throgyn, you can give me an arcane check. Yep.
I'll do in nature.
Oh, that's a
Throgyn,
20.
what in the world did you just roll, my guy?
A nat 20.
Holy crap, Throgyn.
Fuck you!
So Yuka, it is you see your chest. You see that there is a zit forming there, and it kind of distracts you a little bit.
She sees a zit, but I think like right underneath, she's like, oh fuck. Because, like, right before this adventure started, she was, getting a hickey. Healed up.
Yuka's just like, I cannot show this to anyone.
Yep. She like looks down and she's like, it's normal. Everything's normal.
Throgyn, as you look at Yuka, you manage to trace where that hum used to reside. And you see that as you're tracing sort of the magic energy that Yuka emits, this very primal flora and fauna steward magic, you notice that there is one part of Yuka in her chest where her heart should be that is not emitting that. Instead, it emits, and it's not the size of a human heart. It's not the size of an elfin heart. It's smaller than that. And it emits a magic that is much more similar to what you would describe as deceptive magic. A magic based on boasting and brashness and not lies per se, but bragging.
And here I thought you were just gonna give her blonde roots or something. Like, come on.
No, I did that with your boy. I can't do that with you now. That's not fun. I need to find new and fun ways to torture my players.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
How do I get this out of you? I can't get a little hint because I rolled a nat 20.
You can get a little hint because you rolled nat 20.
Yeah, come on.
Throgan. Okay, first of all, if you threaten me with a goose, you no longer get a little hint for
I'm
rolling
not
a nat
threatening
20.
you.
That's a stone.
I was just showing you.
We're gonna
This little-
let's show the DM a little bit more love and a little
Yes.
bit less swan.
Good point. Good point.
Throgan, you get the very, very distinct sense that what you were missing was something from Vassal. And very specifically, it was something from Vassal that connected to the infection, to the contagion. On a nat 20, I'm not necessarily going to give you a hint on how to retrieve this item. Rather, you know that it sits where Yuka's heart should sit, but isn't for some reason. What you will get on a nat 20 is that chamomile picked a flower that they said would cure the symptoms of the infection. You know that Yuka has retrieved an item that was said to assist somebody who had been gravely wounded. Somebody who had been made deeply, deeply ill. You haven't seen Fig gather anything quite like that yet, but you did see Fig gather something that was directly tied to relevancy. A book with a rose embossed on the cover. The items that you have collected so far, you have an item of relevancy. Something given to you by a friend that was unfortunately erased. But you don't have anything tied to the infection yet. What could Vassal have had that was tied so directly to the infection? Perhaps a heart of it.
Is it the source? I have the source in my I have it in my pockets. What's in my pockets is?
What is in your pockets is, Throgyn?
Do I feel a faint hum coming from somewhere in my pocket in a little leather pouch that I use so I don't need to touch it?
Focusing through the leather, you feel the same hum that is currently muted inside of Yuka's chest. Deafeningly loud in your hand. It is the same magic.
Can I combine the source, Cursebreaker, and the crane that I got?
Throgyn, as you put the first two pieces together, the stone and Cursebreaker, you watch as it melts and molds together. And sitting in front of you, you find a small bead, the kind that would be worn in a dwarf's beard when they select their first craft. A mark of pride for reaching a milestone. You recognize it as something almost akin to a spellcasting focus. As you add the last piece, the small bird that Orville gave you, what does it turn into, Throgyn?
It remains a type of bead, but it is constructed in such a way that it is able to fit onto one of the feathers in my wings, one of the stronger feathers in a further back place. It's very light. It is a blinding white color.
You hear that
Stark
it emits
against my black
a small
feathers.
amount of chirping as well. All four of you get the very, very distinct sense that one piece of the puzzle has been acquired. It is calm, it is respite, and it is the first clear breath you have taken in a long time. Please,
I
continue
clip it
your story.
onto my wing. We had read a lot of books there. Yuka had also read multiple books, I think, specifically on an account of a future nurse, if I am correct.
That is correct. And key to that, we also met someone else for the first time in that library. Someone very big and very bright.
We first met the being of light.
You see, behind you, two tragedians appear.
Stacked on top of each other.
One is holding a lantern. No, it's alright, Rose. Please, say it louder.
Please?
I'm good. No, I'm not gonna repeat myself.
You see two tragedians appear. One of them holding a lantern, and the other standing with this sheer golden chiffon fabric draped over them, so that their figure is obscured just enough that they can appear however the light hits them.
Am I correct in thinking that this is when we found out about the 2D stuff?
I believe so, yes.
We talked to this creature of light, and it showed us the role that it showed us a part we may not have fully understood yet, but it showed us part of the role that we were playing. It showed us the 2D, and I think it also showed us then the threads. Specifically, Cam was able to perceive them.
Would you like assistance, Throgyn?
Yes, please. Will you take over?
I will. We met the being of light. And at that time, we did not know how critical that meeting would be. but it illustrated for us how different we were as figures in the world compared to those around us. It was a very jarring realization to see our strings, to know that somewhere out there, someone else was imbuing their will upon us in a far more intimate and direct way than perhaps we had ever previously thought about. When it was time for us to leave the Feywild, we paid our dues to the board.
I checked out a library book.
We perhaps brought items of relevancy with us. And we had yet another encounter with our friend. And she looks at he.
And you see that he has begun moving again. Are you going to
Now
help me with this? Are you going to end this?
Well, that depends. What is it that you want us to end?
I don't know if I get a say in that.
What if I say you do? What if we all say you do?
Then I'd like to not be bound anymore.
To your deity? Or to light? Or at
To us.
all?
The first two. Being positioned like a puppet can be very painful.
This is just the story so far. Where it goes, we get to decide. And that's a decision we all get to make. She looks at all the members of the party. I believe we can create a fine ending, a fitting ending, with some wiggle room for a future. What say you to this?
It is, as you say, Yuka, we have the ability and, like, the duty to have this end, and responsibility to help those that do need our help.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now there's a piece of this story that I could use some help in clearing up. It seems perhaps I was absent, or perhaps I was not quite myself. We went to a dungeon and we saw a tree. She holds out the stone so that he can touch it and tell the story with her.
Before we move on, I believe there's a book that needs to be picked up by somebody.
How could I forget? She tosses it to Fig.
And Fig, you notice that this book hums with the same energy as that spellcasting focus.
I guess all my things are books. That makes sense.
No, one was a thesis.
Just a book without binding.
Fig, you do notice something about this book.
Mhm.
While it looks very similar to the book that you checked out from the library, it is not exactly the same. This one has motifs of dragons etched along the sides.
You're a beautiful book. And then I toss it on the pile with the others.
And what does it turn into, my dearest Fig?
Oh. Then, in fact, turns into not a book, but a self-implement, as you would see in the great scribes of Hakshar, a very impressive magicked quill that, in fact, is no longer that doing the symbolizing thing where it's like, I'm stopping to read what has happened, and I'm starting to write my own tale. I'm gonna imagine like a pheasant, a feathered quill, so
Yeah.
not too ostentatious, but
Just
still
a little
pretty
bit.
nice.
Of course.
Mhm.
Fig, as well as the rest of you, get a distinct sense that you've unlocked another puzzle piece.
And let's see where. Going through my mind. Where are we going from here?
I believe I was going to touch that stone.
If that is your wish, have at it.
And
Dicky.
I do believe that is where we are going to take a small break, because it has been about an hour and a half. So when we come back from our break, we will speed run through the last half of our campaign, if my players allow it.
This should go faster.
Yeah, now that you guys have sort of figured out the
Yeah.
bits, I think it'll work, yeah.
Once, and this has happened more recently, so.
Yeah. So, we will see you all back after about a 10 to 15 minute break. We'll be back at about 10 before the next hour. So, get yourself a water, take yourself a bathroom break. Take care. We'll be back later. Bye. Hello, and we are back. Hello,
Yay.
and we. Hello, and we are back. Pardon me for getting to unmute my mic. It's all right. It's fine. We're here. We're back. We're gonna jump right into it. So, I have been given this, and I have been asked to talk about a dungeon. A dungeon that was in the archipelago of Amarsa. Small island, never really given a name, other than Safe Haven. It held in it a basement. And that basement was interesting because it would show you what you believed should be there, not necessarily what you thought was there, or not necessarily what should be there. It was interesting. Our players learned that they could change things, that the world was not always as easy as it seemed. Time was fluid, as were we all. At the end of it, you four got to speak with the light, the creature cloaked in light. Once again. One of you got a bit more gutsy. Smote something that shouldn't have been. You met a gnome with fiery red hair and the thickest accent I've ever heard. And she showed you.
You heard accents before? What's wrong with you?
And she showed you a way forwards, a way to where you went next. A second trip to the Feywild. Chamomile, would you like it? Throgyn, since it was your wife.
I love
Fiance.
talking about my wife. We went back to the Feywild. We had another question that was yet unanswered. We needed more clues. And we had gotten a calling card from a certain mistress. When we were at the mistress's, at her a table for creatures sized like us, we asked her a lot of things. We talked to both her and to the plants around her, and due to a small mistake that would never be committed by a career criminal such as me, my hand accidentally got given to her. My hand in
Throgyn,
marriage.
You watch as a tragedium runs up behind you like he's trying to bundle the president off into a corner to tell you something. And then right as you say, the tragedium just goes you know you can lie. You know you can say that never happened, right? You've already said it, so now it's too late, but you could have lied.
Yes, but it's fine.
Okay.
Things are gonna happen. I'm gonna be fine.
Okay.
Things will undo it.
Okay. Have a water, take a rest, go get him, Tiger. And then he just bundles himself off.
I take a sweat towel, I quickly wave it across my forehead,
He takes
take
it
a little
back.
swig, and then run back to this.
Yes, and cut, man.
I want to see improv where we have a boxing style coach.
Where I accidentally gave my hand in marriage to this wonderful mistress. As you see, I am successful in every avenue of life. When we left from the mistresses, I was so smitten by her that I actually don't remember anything. Will someone do me the honor of telling me what happened when I was so dazed by love?
Same. If you'd like me to return to that part of my life, I suppose I can.
He's so funny.
It's yeah, there was a being named the Mistress who we were trying to receive information, to bargain for information from. I think she had like a lot of husbands, like
Like
I
31.
don't as well. And I'm
16.
like somewhere in between those two numbers. Um,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, it's always getting hit on in that situations. It's stressful. That's what it is. It's stressful when you're trying to bargain for information and you have to go along with it because I don't know, you don't want to like be rude or disappoint them. So yes, we talked to the mistress. She also had various attendants, including the plants around her, that were incredible gossips.
Very
Uh,
judgy.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't
But
even hear most of what they had to say.
eventually, we only got out of there. I don't actually, I don't actually remember what info we got from that, but
I don't remember what you got specifically from the mistress. That's a mystery
Yep.
even to me.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
You got
she's
something,
mysterious
all
like
right.
that.
It was mostly just
Yep.
flirting towards Fig, I think.
Yeah. Thankfully, I kept hold of most of my thank yous and pleases. I think one got loose, but I think she said it back to me, so we were good.
Net neutral.
We could have been brothers-in-law.
And Throgyn, I appreciate you as a friend. Please don't ever think that again. Okay. But yes, Throgyn, on the other hand, was not as net neutral. But I do believe that there was perhaps a time clause put in to. I'm putting it in now. Into your betrothal, and since a certain amount of time had passed by returning, it sort of was null and void by the end of it. And that, I believe, concludes all of our experiences in the Feywilds that I never wish to go back to.
Hi,
And
it's a great place.
I would love to visit your uncle.
for some people, I can see how they would have a wonderful time. It's not for me personally.
How are you gonna return the book?
It's now an amalgamation of spell components. We're good.
You feel somewhere deep in your bones, just like the sound of a barn owl in the distance.
I'm taking myself out out of this narrative. It's not gonna. What book? Anyway. And I return the stone and drop it in the hands of who would like to go from out of the Feywilds and I believe toward perhaps I think either Jeremiah's bandit camp or Yuka's home.
Ooh,
I don't
wait,
think we ever saw the bandit camp again. I think
There's no reason to. Jeremiah
I don't
never
think we
got the
did.
sword.
Oh yeah. There's no reason to go there, so I guess we're going to Yuka's home. Yep.
Problem solved. We did it, gang. We solved
Our
it.
fling just ended as a happy fling.
there is no Jeremiah, there is no Tarask, and there is no Steve.
There's no little like bundles of like this other things. We're good.
It's come to my attention that there is a bingo board being made in the Twitch chat right now. I've chosen actually to extricate myself from that because I don't want to interfere with the items on the bingo board. I want to leave it up to chance. I am. I want it to be a fun game. If I give them everything they want, it's not as much fun as a challenge. I really hope Steve is on the bingo board, but I'm not going to go out of my way to add more Steve so that somebody can get a bingo, so somebody can get a blackout.
Steve.
That was a bit.
Hey, Yuka, Sunny, you could write him out of existence.
It was character development.
I have passed the stone to you, so is.
Before she accepts the stone, she's like, "Alas, that would cause ecosystem collapse, and the Lord Bastille would never forgive me."
Keystone species.
That's to stay alive. Nobody's ever seen Steve's back teeth. They don't know. That's a lie. One person has seen Steve's back teeth and lived to tell the tale. She
There's
has
like
a
an
scar
imprint.
forevermore. Yeah, like one of the second year, like one of. Okay. All right.
Hello.
Hello? Oh, I'm back. Okay, hi. Sorry, we were talking about Steve, and I said that he had the teeth that, like, you can't escape from if he grabs you.
Fig, would you do me the kindness of passing me the rock, please?
Certainly.
And so... the party found themselves in a familiar wood. Things had changed, and things were fluid. Time in one part of the wood was different than time in another. The fluctuations were present even down to the home of the witch. And given her line of work, the witch was prone to having and maintaining her secrets. And her greatest of all, including to herself, was she had fallen very much in love. A woman had come seeking her help many moons before. And the help the witch provided aided the conception and birth of a healthy child. Sadly, that woman's family, as a result of the witch's involvement, became splintered. And she found herself unmarried, a single mother, who visited the witch often. long before she had ever met any members of her new party. During her absence, the woman and her baby, now a boy, had taken up residence in the Grove of the Witch of the Wood and learned many skills from the Lord Bestial, and as it seems, recognized the witch as a wife and a mother. And the party met this child, Shinda, a young boy, precocious and bright, clever, so kind, and such a brave soul. And the witch felt she was intruding upon something that was not truly hers, but was grateful for even the chance at a future that looked like this, with a boy like this, with a woman like his mother, with the acceptance and love that she so feared would not be there from her patron deities, the primordial Lord Bestial and Lady Verdant. She hands the stone to Fig. Has the scene changed at all around us?
It has. So as you've been talking, and this is something that I'm just omitting for letting you guys speak. You switched from this basement, drips coming from the ceiling, into the Feywild, into that room with the big flowers reaching over you, chattering away around you, into the woods once again. And as you keep talking now, you find yourself in a log cabin, a fire roaring in the hearth. And as I believe Fig retrieves the stone now, where does the scene change to?
Well, scene then changes to, I recall, passing by the dragon statues once again. This time they're a little different because one is just gone, just in its entirety, while one more has started to crumble and collapse. And Fig is understandably distraught at this information, and he bypasses basically all sense of historical importance and cataloging data and not touching important historical sites, and decides it needs to be fixed.
And you watch as Fig decides it needs to be fixed and recounts the tale of how he broke every rule he abides by to put it back together himself. You watch as another tragedian steps out. This time, they are roughly the height of a gnome. They are wearing blue hair and traveler's clothes. And as you watch as this very neutral looking figure shifts into a character you all know named Saoirse. a gnome artificer. Someone who harnesses the power of electricity and uses it just as others would use magic.
And, Fig is shocked, but delighted to, have this primary source available to, fully, I don't want to say that, use the word interrogate, but basically, but, even though we do have to inform Saoirse about the time that has passed since certain events occurred, as well as the fact that her memories also seemingly not the greatest at this current moment, but still witty, or not, I don't know how to say that, but witty and intelligent enough to help and perhaps help complete the plans that Throgyn and Orville had started.
And Fig, as you talk about this, you notice that there is a small set of 5 dragon statuettes, roughly the size that would fit into somebody's palm, one in each of the colors of the magic that you have spotted. They hum with a magic, identical to what Cam's new spellcasting focus hums with. And should you pick them up, you would notice that on the bottom there is a small maker's mark of horns curled around a chamomile flower.
It's I don't know if you'd like to see the labors of your very fine work, Cam, but I think it would be appropriate for you to see these.
Well, there are 5 of them,
There's 5 of them.
so I guess I'm gonna get them in like a pile. Can't really give 5 things properly at once, but
Well, I think they're just on the floor. I gave you the stone, but you can.
oh no. No, I need to talk. But I'll
No, it's
grab
just-
the statues because I never got around to like glazing the ones.
And as you grab the statues and as they touch that plaster that covers your arm, what does it turn into?
I'm just gonna complain that I wanted to look at them first. And,
Oh, you can still look at them first. My apologies.
No, I touched them. Therefore, they're like melting into the hand. I think it's gonna stay a hand, but it's gonna be kind of like someone has like a full to the elbow sleeve tattoo with the colors of the statues. Some bits of dragony, some bits of just the elements themselves.
So what you end up having, Cam, is you have this sleeve tattoo on your right arm, I believe it was on, where each
Yes.
of your fingers ends up in a different color. And throughout all of the red, there are small little flame patterns. And if you look at it, you could swear it's giving off light. Throughout the white, there are all these tiny little sparkles, like the way sunlight in the morning bounces off fresh snow. The green, you could swear it hisses if you ever bring your arm close to your ear. That bubbling, that acidic crust that just hangs in the air.
Can that one be my middle finger? Just because I think that'd be very funny.
Sure, absolutely. The blue, you notice, crackles every so often, almost as if in time with your heartbeat. small Liechtensteins. Wrong word.
Lichtenberger.
It's a wrong word.
Lichtenberger.
Yeah, small Lichtenberg scars light up in electricity. And the last one, your pinky finger. Purple. If you look at it, every so often in the corner of your eye, it almost appears skeletal.
Whoa. But
You get the distinct sense, all four of you, that you have acquired the penultimate piece of the puzzle. Also, Cam, you have regained full sensation and full control over your arm.
upgrade.
Yeah. Let's see. I believe next we return to Yuka's home and the events that occurred there.
Party came back to the Grove of the Witch of the Wood to find that Shinda was not there. And neither was the Lord Bestial, nor the Lady Verdant, who had been infected. And while she was very strong, she was not immune to the affliction that had dredged across the land. The party followed the Lord Bestial and the Lady Verdant to a grove where Shinda was taking on a burden no boy, no child his age should ever have to take on. And so, to save him and to save the Lady Verdant, the party combined their respective skills, their respective magics, powers, their knowledge, and they used the sword Infection Breaker, Affliction Breaker, Disease Breaker, the Breaker of Curses.
And Throgyn, as Yuka says those names, you feel that small bead that you placed on your mechanical wings begin to vibrate and glow with arcane power. You recognize, or actually, you can give me an Arcana check if you wanna learn anything.
Yes, please.
With a 13, you would recognize that whatever is causing it to glow right now seems to be latent magic from Cursebreaker. You don't think that this power is infinite. You may only get one use out of it. On a 13.
The party was able to combine their strengths and the tools at their disposal to save Shinda and heal the Lady Verdant. And from that came a stone.
I show the stone of relevancy. I pull it out of my bag.
Throgyn.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
You mute yourself.
No worries.
Alright, good.
Yep, break time. Alright, tech difficulties. We'll be back soon. Hello, I do believe that the audience can still hear me, so I wanted to just welcome somebody new to the chat. Hello, welcome in, Solid 10. I usually don't check chat during the streams, just because I am DMing. Today's a bit of a weird session, because my players are doing most of the heavy lifting for me, and it's very fun. Yeah, while we're over here in the technical difficulties screen, my players are mostly just hearing me talk to themselves. Oh no! This is okay. I can reduce the music. Hello. As I was saying, oh no, I'm just super far away from my mic. As I was saying, hello. Welcome in, Solid 10. Nice to have you here. I usually don't check chat during my streams just because I focus on DMing. But my players are doing the heavy lifting today, so yay. Glad to have you here. Hope that you enjoy. I think my player... Alright. I'm getting the notification from my players that they're ready to go. No worries, Feather. We're gonna head back over to you guys in 3, 2, 1. And you're back. Hello.
I hold out the Stone of Relevancy.
The Stone of Relevance is out.
It's here. What is that?
Is this your card?
Honestly, it's not.
It's not a seven of spades, but it was even better.
This is close. This is great.
It's the
Get back
nine
there.
of diamonds. Let's go.
Okay.
I love you. Oh, it's not the 9 of diamonds. Yeah, it is the 9 of diamonds. I love you, 9 of diamonds.
It is.
Alright. So, you pull out the Stone of Relevancy. What all of you see is you see this small stone, easily able to like fit into anyone's palm, and it glows incredibly brightly, as if lit on the inside by a star. What do you do with this, Throgyn?
I want to try to bring it closer to the stone with the tragedium on it. I'm not sure if I want them to touch yet. I will. It takes two to tango. But I bring it closer to see if they have any reaction to each other.
As you begin to bring them closer together, you begin to feel almost like a magnetic pull that they have towards one another. You get the very, very distinct sense that once these two things fuse, there is no going back.
I look at Yuka because you're holding the stone right now, to see, like, are we gonna do this?
We have one more part of the story we have to tell.
Yeah. I will wait.
The party knew if a primordial goddess could be healed, so too could the rest of the infected population. And perhaps the affliction could be completely eradicated, never to harm anyone again.
Yuka, as you say all of this, and as the scene changes from a dying forest into a lush one, you sense a humming that matches the humming of your ball of sinew and vine.
My teratoma!
Yes, unfortunately.
Disgusting! Nobody Google that if you want to not throw up.
Okay.
What is humming? Is it the Stone of Relevancy? Or
It is in fact the Stone of Relevancy. The item that you got for saving your mother's life.
And so the party traveled to Ironcliff, where their journey began, only to find it covered in wires, barren of people, folk who had long since quarantined, despite their best attempts to curb the infection with arcane tools, immunosuppressants, inoculations of sorts. There was not enough.
That's what Vassal did wrong. He used immunosuppressants. Sorry.
Yep. Forgive me, I've been doing this for a couple of hours and I'm getting a little sleepy.
You're alright, you're alright. I'm just bullying Vassal. Bullying my boy.
Not immunosuppressants. That would be funny though if it turns out the entire time he's like, what if we just let it get them faster?
No!
No! None of that works! The combination of available medicine and arcane means to prevent the illness was not firm enough a prevention method, and the illness had spread. The party traveled deep into Ironcliff until the Witch of the Woods found the place where Vasil Vitali, a changed man, consumed by his obsessive need to cure the infection by any means necessary, had engaged in magics that had changed him forever. With the aid of Throgyn, the witch took the sword, Infection Breaker, and drove it into Vassil's rabbit heart.
And Yuka, you feel that flutter in your chest pop and cease. You do not take any damage. You are not injured in any way, shape, or form. It simply vanishes.
Do you feel a heartbeat of her own now?
No, you don't.
Okay!
Are you gonna?
Nope, not gonna share this with the party. You know Yuka, she acts like an injured cat.
No, that's not what I'm wondering. I'm thinking you can create a new heart, maybe.
Probably.
Other people have been able to make body parts.
With such a driver of the infection gone, the party felt empowered. Understanding the role of all the tools they had, utilizing that infection breaker, stopping the flow of further infection through Vassil. They thought to use all the tools they had gained and all the skills they had acquired to create a bigger tool, a bigger magic, a bigger cure, a bigger preventative to completely eradicate the affliction. And then she'll touch the ball to the stone of relevancy.
And Yuka, what do these two items turn into?
They turn into... That's a really good question. I had the idea that they turn into teeny tiny moths
Oh.
that split off from each other and split off from each other, reproducing asexually and fluttering about. Moths small enough and flexible enough to reach into every nook and cranny through tight spaces and thick branches of cover. When they glide over the skin, they melt into the body and almost go through the blood, disappearing and strengthening the immunoresponse.
You create these small little moths. And as one of them lands on your hand, Yuka, most of them not landing on you, as one of them lands on your hand just before it melts into your skin, you see that its wings are made of parchment. Or at least something that appears to be so.
It's resilient. It flies. It resembles a book. And it is, to some, a little frightening. I think that resembles the people of this party quite well. What do you think, my friends?
I think it's perfect.
And all four of
She-
you feel like you have achieved the last piece of the puzzle.
She'll take the stone and she'll hold it in the center above the bonfire so that they're not lighting themselves on fire. So everyone in the party can touch it.
Pig will then also bring his object of relevancy. It's got a dragon on it now.
Incredible.
It's got a dragon on it now.
I think there's one butterfly or one little moth that doesn't actually melt in. It just kind of like hovers above.
That moth, Yuka, is going to end up landing on the stone itself, so it's not touching anyone.
But yeah.
As you bring all 4 of these items closer together, you all, first Throgyn as the most arcane, as the most adept at the arcane of you all, and then slowly the rest of you. You are going to notice that these vibrations of arcane energy you've been feeling begin to resonate with one another. They were different frequencies, yes, but they were all, well, they form a beautiful harmony, don't they? And
Yuka's going to take she's gonna like just very quickly like pulse her fingers so that everyone can feel the little gentle tug on their strings, like the little I'm squeezing your hand.
And the strings that tie you all together pulse and begin to glow with a magic color you haven't seen before. It's your own. Nothing. When I say it's not a color you've seen before, Fig, you know how many languages? 7? 8? None of them.
It might be 6.
6? Oh, sorry, I'm giving you too much credit, book boy.
I speak 6 languages.
None of them.
I can read and more.
None of them have ever had a word for this color. Throgyn, thinking back to your arcane spells and secrets. You've never read or experimented with anything like this. And to our 2 lovely druids, well, this is natural, yes. But even natural things can be so unusual that you've never seen them before. That no one has. As you bring these items together, over top of this small, gray river stone, that over the course of your stories has begun to imbue itself with the power of your tale. You all hear a single question. What is your cure?
They go in and they fix your shit.
The power of friendship.
I was gonna be like, it never existed in the first place. Sorry, bye.
Oh, that's hot. That's really hot. Do it.
So
I thought that was obvious, but
yes, but the concept of Yuka saying they go in and fix your shit just sent me.
they go in and they is it not obvious?
So I'm going to say this again just to make sure that my players are on the same page between themselves. What is your cure?
My idea was like, it was originally going to be spores. They disperse in the air, and then I was like, let's do something a little bit prettier and more poetic. It's still kind of dark and spooky.
Sunny K, I am not asking about the delivery mechanism. The delivery mechanism is the moths. I am very specifically asking, what is the outcome?
It's not what you said.
That wasn't clear.
I'm sorry.
Our outcome
said
is
something
complete.
different.
Our Our outcome is complete eradication. From now on, everyone who has it will be cured and no one else will get it.
There's no chance of it
Mm.
ever coming back. And the
And all
bonds that
those-
this illness hold over the world and its after effects are broken as well.
Everyone who has forgotten will be will regain those memories and their facilities, and all that were. I'm just thinking of Jeremiah that were transported will be returned.
You all see as the quill that Fig holds in his hand, ink begins to flow out of its nib and towards Throgyn. It disappears into his wings, and you all know that it is passing through that band. A band that symbolizes specialization of craft, imbuing the ink itself with the power to change what is and what will be. However, pure possibility does not a cure make, and you watch as that ink travels towards Cam, a sculptor, the one of you that works most with their hands, that takes what is raw and shapes it into a form that is pleasing. It weaves in between their fingers, in and out, until you see words coming out the other side. Words and shapes and symbols and lines and music, before landing on that paper parchment moth and that river stone. You see words begin to be scribed along with notes, hopes, dreams, prayers on this moth. And you all get the very distinct sense that it is waiting for its cue.
I push some.
Yes? Sorry, I was not expecting this. Hang on, yes? You see these like brushing crumbs of fey cake off his face.
Come over here.
He sort of stands up, brushes off his pants, and sort of floats up so that he's eye level with the rest of you.
Well, there's a difference in eye level.
This man is like 1.5 feet tall, Cam. He's half a meter tall.
No, I get that.
I'm
but
only
there's, like, a
twice his
difference.
height, but
Exactly.
He floats up so he's eye level with you guys, yeah?
Please touch.
And you
With
see as
us.
he reaches out, a barrier appears. It's that same color as the being cloaked in light used to be. And it just sort of bounces him away. It's at this point you notice that around you are not only the tragedians and the figures that you summoned while telling your story, but rather outside of the light of the fire, there are so many you cannot see ground anymore. You simply see heads and shoulders spreading off into the distance, all hushed and waiting.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this, and you all.
And they all went on without the fear of a disease that devastated and forgot, to live their lives and have many, many more adventures.
And as Yuka blows at the moth, giving it just the smallest amount of lift, you watch as it begins splitting, duplicating itself, and then those two duplicating themselves, and those four duplicating themselves, exponentially increasing until you have a maelstrom of these small paper moths fluttering around you and fluttering up. The beating of their wings ends up extinguishing the campfire you stand around, but not before you see one land on every single tragedium in sight, melding into their mask, leaving behind the smallest imprint. Where Cam, you notice that ash has been cleared off of their mask before the entire illusion begins to crumble away. One lands on each of you. You watch and you feel as it melds into your skin. Throgyn, you feel your arm begin to come back to you, no longer feeling like pins and needles. Instead, scaled, talons on the end, just as you've come to expect in your Kenku form. Yuka, as one lands on you, you feel something begin to grow in your chest once again. It is not the same as your heart once was, though it is there, and it is pumping, and perhaps that is enough for now. Somehow, that small river stone slips out of your hands, and you see that it falls into one waiting below it. A purple hand of a tiefling, pinker than Cam. Life, soft as if they've never worked a day in their life. And before you're able to see the tiefling that it belongs to, you hear one last thank you before the fifth figure on the campfire sort of black holes and poofs away to who knows where. You find all four of you sitting in a tavern in Ironcliff. It's almost as if you've woken up from a nap. You see 4 mugs filled with liquid around you. Throgyn, you're enjoying a particularly nice dwarvish beer. Fig, it's not great coffee, but it's got caffeine and will keep you awake. Chamomile and Yuka, you both have something a little bit more earthy, a little bit more herbal, but hey, who says there's not something spiked in it as well? You see, sitting around you are people, laughing, joking, enjoying themselves. And though it's not visible to you at first, if you squint a little bit, and if you look for what you know, you can see that everyone, somewhere in their body, has a small imprint of a moth, covered in protective sigils and words and hopes for the future. There is no illness here in Ironcliff. It was still here, and it will still leave a mark on everything. And you notice that there's no doctor sitting in this room with you. But
No.
there is life. There's livelihood. There's community. And that counts for a whole heck of a lot, don't it? I would like to invite all of my players with our last 15-ish minutes of session to describe the next amount of time for their character. Up to and including 15 years, if you wish.
I think we should go in the order we introduce ourselves at the beginning of the episodes.
You guys are evil. And I love you, but
Think it-
Do you want
You
me
will
to
be
think of an
done?
epilogue for you, Rose? Because I can also
You will
do
be
that.
done the fastest if you go first.
Well, Cam would have felt completely lost at what to do now. So with that, I think they would have taken a year sabbatical to just visit the material plane side of the family. And like Cam knows their dad's passed, so they would visit the grave and tell them the whole story.
Cam,
They were also still promised some time, so I hope that that would pop up sometime in the next 15 years.
Cam, as you finish telling your father the story of everything you went through, of why you missed the last family reunion, you
Not just one.
look up and you realize that there is a goblin sitting on top of the gravestone. He looks young, maybe around middle-aged, but definitely younger than when you last remember him. There's a twinkle in his eye, and as he sits there, you see that it's your father. Hey. Well, Songbird, how you been?
Busy?
I can tell. Sounds like you did a lot.
Yeah. You never would have thought, would you?
All this from a sculptor? I always knew you were destined for great things, but I thought that was going to be something in the Feywild.
You still could be.
It's up to you. You're the only one who can change it.
I miss you.
I miss you too, Songbird. But hey, you gotta stay with Darlin. Your mom misses you too. Visit more often.
I had no choice in the time between this visit and the previous.
I know. Now, I know it's usually bad luck to step on a grave. I'm real disrespectful. But, come over and give me a hug. I gotta make it count.
Yeah. And yeah, Cam gives her dad a hug.
You receive a hug, and it feels as real as when you left home the last time. You can get the distinct sense that as long as you're here, and as long as you continue this conversation, you can talk with him. However, you don't know if he'll ever be back. Not like this.
So what happens when we go?
When you go, after long conversation and jokes of old times, you see that he gives you one last nod, one last chin up, and then he waves you away. And it's not violent, it's just a simple and slow fading. Something that was there no longer is, but that doesn't make it any less real. You know that he's at peace, and that wherever his soul went to, he'll be happy.
As a druid, would you say I have like seeds on me?
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna make a circle of whatever flower seed I have on me around the grave. I'm gonna make it a face circle. Don't dare step on it or you get transported, bitches.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You're approached by a woman. Well, woman is a strange word to use for them. Their skin is translucent gray. You can see that the light shimmers through them. And you see that around one of their biceps they wear a small braided cord. It's woven in with grasses, old flowers. It's a wedding band, made in the only way that your father could get to stay on your mother. She gives you a hug and invites you back for dinner with the rest of the family.
I missed you too.
We all did. Thanks for coming back eventually.
I'm sorry it couldn't be sooner.
You know as well as I do that that's not how the Feywild works. I knew you'd come back eventually. I'm fine waiting as long as it needs to. And hey, if you ever need anything while you're in there, your uncle's there. So, there's that.
I know. Can't get rid of the guy.
What'd you say? You just hear from inside.
You still got to meet Throgyn again before you go back.
I was gonna flirt with that bird!
And they'd welcome it.
May.
As Fig sort of takes in this adventure, he does realize that it's like, I've got so many things left unfinished in Hawkshire that I need to complete them, and maybe apologize for being gone quite a few years. As Fig does return to Hawkshire, he does find his apartment. All of his things were brought to a storage facility. The storage facility doesn't look that different from his apartment. It's still a mess, still full of all of his research, all of his papers, and as he starts to fill out the forms for unexplained absences and Feywild time disruptances, he sort of is, I don't know, disturbed or just not settled in this place that was his before, with all of his papers, all of his theories, all of his things, and he's just like, this is really what all I was doing. And he finishes up his leave paperwork. He resigns. He becomes a dropout. Anyway.
Followed in Bowser's footsteps. Let's go.
He's no longer spending the money he doesn't have on school. And he finally faces head on what's been sort of lurking in the back of his brain, that he finally goes to the Temple of Tauntaun, and that he is asking for true guidance, and he's writing a memoir on the side.
As you're praying, as you walk in, you see that in one of the corners in the back, emptying the donations, moving it into a back room. Just standard things that need to happen. You see a very old figure, robed so that you can't really see their face, but you do see a pretty standard symbol of the order. A yellowy, almost mustard-colored blindfold tied around their eyes. Oh. What brings you in, young lad?
I've been avoiding this for too long, and it's time to find out what this suppose where this connection can take me.
Fair enough. Late is better than never. You look like you've seen things.
Been quite far from my own 2 feet on the ground, even if that's where I prefer I'd stay.
Well, how about I offer you a cup of tea and a willing ear?
Sounds very good. May I have your name?
You of all people should know that phrasing is a bit dangerous, Jeffrey.
Oh, of course, but
You may
we're
call
not
me
there.
Thorntown. I have much to learn from you. And you will be brought off towards a back kitchenette, where you have some very enlightening tea. Feather.
Throgyn comes home to find out he never really had one. He never really had any friends. He didn't feel comfortable in his body anymore before this adventure even started. And now he's basically just a whole new person. So he stays at what works for him. He he has gotten a newfound love for artificing. He is starting up his own new workshop where he can do even more of it. He makes sure he keeps up with his new friends. That includes all of you, of course, but also someone like Shershi. He keeps in contact with her to share designs, to talk about what's going on. He takes an apprentice, a troubled youth, trying to make it easier for that youth than it was for him.
Throgyn, you find an Aarakocra. You were visiting someone at the time, probably Fig over in Hawkshire. And a street urchin tries to pick your pockets. Gets very
Payback.
close to a certain bead that rests on one of your feathers. And when you look down at him, you realize that you're looking at a pigeon Aarakocra. Gorgeous blue-gray feathers, small rainbows scattered across his shoulders. And when you look down at him, you realize he looks vaguely familiar. Nothing exact, but when you ask his name, oh, well, my name's Orville. I was named for my grandpappy.
I think I may have known him.
I doubt it. He disappeared ages back. He couldn't have been alive and you couldn't have been alive. You're not that old.
I found his blueprints. He helped me build these wings. If you want, I can teach you.
I mean, does it have a warm bed? And food?
Warm food?
Alright. I mean, I'll give it a shot. But you gotta take in my sister too. We're a match set.
Of course. Nothing rather. I'd be honored.
And Throgyn, whether you mean to or not, you end up with 2 apprentices. One of whom wants nothing more than to be an artificer. And one of whom is, well, she's a bit of a loose cannon. She's lovely, but, well, she tends to like magic a bit more than the application of it. She'll make a great sorcerer one day, but something about this, like, this magic, something about those deer antlers growing out of her head seems a bit suspicious. Sunny K.
Yuka goes home.
Have a debt outstanding. All three of you lose Yuka. As you're sitting in the tavern, she gets up, walks to the restroom, and is in there for just slightly too long. When she walks back out, she has aged 10 years. The wrinkles now carve into her face. She seems somehow more beastly, even in her half-elf form. Cat's eyes glimmer, and fangs lie hidden. Yuka, you had a debt outstanding, and you had to pay it. You were sent 10 years into the past, pulled through sets and time, until you found a woman carrying a small babe, about the age of 4, walking into your home in the woods. The baby had pitch black hair that did not match her mother, and that did not match the baby's father either. You suddenly realized what that 10-year debt was for. Somebody needed to save the Lady Verdant. Somebody needed to teach him how.
Yuka walks up to Meryl and just places a very gentle hand on her back.
You're different.
I am. I wasn't expecting to see you here now. Is it the present day, or is this scene taking place
ago.
10 years ago? Perfect. Great. That's what I thought. Do you trust me?
Yes. Please, we need a home, and I didn't know where else to go.
Come with me. She's going to walk to the shrine place that she has dedicated for meditation, offerings, and regular prayer to the primordial deities. That place where old animal bone and old gnarled plants become one horrifyingly, hauntingly gorgeous monument. And she gently directs Meryl to just kneel with the babe in front of it.
Oh,
And she does the same.
Shinda, please. Not right now. You can play later.
No, this is... Don't worry about it. This is actually quite good. She summons the Lord Bestial and Lady Verdant.
You watch as the vines, the wisteria that grows along this shrine, begins to shake and shudder, twisting into what could almost be imagined as a face. And a small fox jumps out of the bushes. Somehow, well, it's a fox, but it looks very prey-like in its appearance. Hey, Milktooth. Let's What you got here?
Lord Bestial. Lady Verdant. It is the honor and privilege of my life to introduce you to Meryl Viteri and her son Shinda.
Oh, son, huh? Alright then, wolf
Yes.
pup. You're with me. And you watch as this fox bounds up and begins to just sort of circle around Shinda's legs until the toddler gets very distracted by the small fluffy critter and chases him away.
She looks up at the Lady Verdant where eyes would be, and she just very slowly and carefully laces her fingers with Meryl's.
I see.
I come to you today to ask your blessing that I might gain a companion.
My steward, Yuka. You do not require my blessing for this. Your life is still your own, despite your responsibilities. So long as they are upheld, I have no qualm with what you choose to do. And I welcome anything that makes you happy. Anyone. And you watch as a wisteria branch floats down towards Meryl and just brushes along her shoulder. Anyone that makes you happy.
With a giddiness that she would have never ever expressed before meeting her friends and going on this adventure, she flings her arms around the big form of the Lady Verdant to embrace her.
The wisteria is crushed a little bit in your grasp. And then you feel...
I forget myself.
And then you feel stronger vines grow up through it, giving it the form with which it can hug you back.
We pan 10 years in the future. I know you said he was 4. I'm choosing for him to be 10. Like, makes sense. I'm choosing for him to have been a 1-year-old.
Fair enough. Go ahead. Go ahead. I can't stop you.
Pan 10 years in the future. In the forest clearing of Yuka's home, sat around a big bonfire and comfortable Adirondack chairs, are Yuka, Meryl, Throgyn, his apprentices, Fig, Cam, and any other guests they would have brought along.
No Shinda?
Friends. Shinda is playing in the backyard, like around with
That's fair.
the
That's
Lord
fair.
Bestial.
My apologies. There's a big ol' elk that's just chasing around this 10-year-old child.
So we're behind a tree. There is the glint of a unicorn horn in moonlight and bonfire.
He's longingly looking at the fire. He just wants a single marshmallow. Single sugar cube in these trying times.
Her guests are seated around the bonfire. Each of them have a drink in hand, and there's meat and other food being passed around on a scrappy-looking tin plate. There are other guests there. There's a dwarf family that none of you have ever met before, but you surmise from the roughness of his hands he's the man who made Yuka's boots all those years ago. And as you all are seated, there's raucous laughter as someone tells a joke. Before Yuka sits on the edge of her seat, and with a cockiness, almost a comfort in her own skin, in her own place, an ability to really drop some of her mystique, she says, "That was pretty good. But I think I've got a deeper one. I think I've got a darker story to tell. Once upon a time." And then she starts to, she just starts telling the most cursed, awful story of like a monster hunt that went so awry and everybody in the traveling party died, and nobody has the. Okay,
I
it
will
was just
say
kind of
the moment Yuka does this, Faye's just gonna sigh and then cover the ears of one of the apprentices.
And Saoirse's right next to them, no, let him hear it.
Let him hear, it's a good
My
one.
little sorceress apprentice is just sitting there yes.
Like the 8-year-old girl is going nuts over this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've covered the other
the
ears.
coolest person she's ever seen.
I want to be just like that when I grow up. Hey, Throgyn, can I be like that when I grow up?
Of course. I'll ask her.
Oh,
I'll ask her to teach you how to make those clothes.
Yeah.
Shinda finds a bag of marshmallows and runs over with it, and comes with a bunch of sticks for the kids.
Aww.
And it's just a really nice party.
Then, I believe it's my turn. As the curtain falls and everyone takes one last bow, our adventurers have their peace, for as long as their players will it. Thank you guys so much for playing with me, for playing this lovely D&D campaign that's lasted 1.5 years. Yay! And thank you to everyone who has been watching on Twitch, on YouTube, anyone who's been following along. Thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure having you guys here on my first streamed D&D campaign. Yeah. We are going to do our little bit of sign-off now, and then I'm going to send you guys to raid Scoon's Tavern, which is another RPG group that I play with a lot. But before all of that, I want to give you guys an announcement on what we're doing next. You might have noticed on our schedule that we are scheduled to play next Sunday. That's because our dearest Sunny K is going to be running a one-shot that takes place earlier in this same campaign. I will not share too much of that, but Sunny K, if you want to share anything right now, please go ahead.
Absolutely. If it pleases the audience, I welcome all of you and invite all of you with open arms to join us next Sunday, July 20th, for a one-shot written by Grant Howitt called The Witch is Dead. That we will be modifying a little bit because, well, she's not really dead, is she?
She's just potted.
She is in a pod.
She's in a goo.
The players at our, table will be playing different characters that we've never actually met before and might see again, might not, but either way, you are in for a treat. This is a super fun game, and we have come up with some very fun forest critters to play for you all. So tune in next week for wacky, fun, silly, not at all serious hijinks, and we're so excited to play with you.
After that, we will be going on a little bit of a hiatus. I am not sure yet what we will be doing on the, let me just check my calendar quickly, 27th of July. However, that might be a day I take to stream to set up for our next campaign, which is going to be an Eldritch Horror campaign. If you've ever played anything like Call of Cthulhu, or Delta Green, or anything just sort of in that horror category, that cosmic horror category, that is what I am planning as our next campaign. As far as I know, all 4 of our players will be joining us for the next one. And we might have a 5th player joining us as well. I am currently in the process of vetting a couple of people to see if my players and that person mesh together. If that is the case, look forward to maybe a new face next season, next campaign. I can't call them seasons. That would be starting, hopefully, fingers crossed, on August, I believe it's 10th, looking at Sunny K and May for confirmation.
Yeah,
right.
technically.
Technically.
I might be very tired, but
We
Yes.
will play it live. This is also a good chance for me to talk about the fact that I have a Ko-fi and a Patreon. This is where you can find my stream schedule. Both of them are completely free to follow. If you hit that follow button, you can access almost all of my posts. The only thing that is ever behind any sort of paywall are any PDFs I put up there. PDFs are not necessary to enjoy this. PDFs are not necessary to follow us. I mostly just want to get information to you guys, which is why I keep my stuff free. That said, there was a thing that I thought about putting up as a PDF earlier today, and I didn't write it down, so now I don't remember it. So yay, if that comes back to me, I'll put up a post about it. With all of that being said, you can find me here on Twitch at Nalise. You can find me also on Patreon and Ko-fi at Nalise. If you want to find me over on YouTube, which is where I keep all of my old VODs, should you want to go back and rewatch this entire campaign, or, because I know there was somebody new in the chat today, if you want to actually go and watch the campaign for the first time, you can find all of my old VODs on YouTube at Nalise RPG. That is a slightly different URL. It will be in the end screen if you stay around for like 5 more minutes till I send you guys there. I do have a couple of other shout outs to do. The first one goes to our lovely portrait artist. You can see the lovely art of all of our characters. This is unfortunately the last time you'll see it. Oh, sad. This was done by Rando's Art. He also has a video game up that is free for download on the Google Play Store called The Delve, Soldiers of Fortune and Folly. I recommend going to give it a look. There are at least 2 voices in there you will recognize. Because voice actors do voice actor things. Aside from that, if you liked any of the music that you heard today, all of that music is actually made by Sunny K. You can go and check out her stuff on Bandcamp at HeySunnyK, I believe is the URL.
HeySunnyK.bandcamp.com.
Where you can pick up not only all of the music you've heard today, but also some songs that I did not play today, and the credit song, which will be coming up during our end screen. I think that is all of the shoutouts I have. Does anyone else have anything they want to shout out?
If you are able to, because times are tough right now, the best way to treat hopelessness is by action. And whatever you can do to make your community a little bit of a better place, and communities far away from you that are really hurting, is to look into the organizations that are doing good to improve the material conditions and the conditions on the ground of the people there. Right now, in our hearts and in our minds at the time, are the wildfires that are going through the prairie provinces of Canada. It is making the air quality very, very difficult for everybody in that area, and is most directly affecting the people whose homes and businesses have been lost and affected by the fire. So if you are able to, please keep them in your hearts, your minds, share anything you can about them. Go to the Canadian Wildlife Relief and the Canadian Red Cross. They should have resources there for direct action that you can take, or donations that you can send if you have the ability to do so, to send donations. As always, Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders, are doing great work all around the world, as well as the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. Let's help. If you've got the time, if you've got the resources, if you've got the ability to share or donate directly, they're doing some really great stuff at Doctors Without Borders and PCRF to make life better for children and people all over the world who are experiencing famine and war and really adverse conditions. So if you're able to do something and the lack of direct action around you is making you frustrated, this is a small thing that you can do that might just help you feel a little bit better and does make tangible change.
Yeah, and to me it's just a good piece of advice, because it came up in this episode. You can go to your local library. They have so many resources, and it's so good to support them for like your community or other activities that are going through those. So go to your local libraries, check out books, read them, and also return them.
Yes.
Don't be like Fig. Return your library books.
Return your library books.
I'm so sorry, Fig. I'm gonna rag on you for this one.
Yep.
But yes.
Came from swinging. Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you to my fellow players for playing with me. This was such a wonderful experience, and I love you all so much.
And thank you to our wonderful GM. I
Yes.
say it time and time and time again, but not only are all of these players incredible to play with, but it's all coming together because of you and because of your incredible storytelling and your incredible DMing style. I really appreciate you.
One question though. Is there any chance the next story might be slightly easier to figure out? Because my god, I'm still confused.
We need easier mysteries.
Uh,
At least, is it possible for you to play the Fun Puzzles for Toddlers book, please?
Yeah.
I mean,
Fun.
I can certainly start with fun puzzles for toddlers.
Yay.
I know that at least 3 of you have played in a Call of Cthulhu game with me before, and you kind of know how that goes, so,
Very fun, very chill, kid friendly.
There was exactly
Lala,
one
you are a
child
big
in that
fat
entire
liar.
campaign, and it was a baby that was mentioned offhandedly because I do not hurt children on my streams.
Yeah. I
Ah,
mean
so I
kid
should just
friendly
stay a
because I think
minor.
most kids would be scared of you, but no
Yes, you're
kids
going to
are
play a
harmed in
Rust
any
Belt
of our
miner,
campaigns.
somebody who mines for a living, and then it's going to be fine, Rose.
Ah, damn it.
Not if what happened to the last guy who mined for a living happens in this one.
Yeah, I don't think you want to go into the earth actually.
More about that
Caves?
later.
Caves.
I have been
don't go in
eaten.
them, kids. Just don't.
Caves are so scary, actually. Anyways, with that, I did actually want to give just a couple of last shout-outs. I wanted to give a big thank you to Randozart, Raku the Librarian, and Broken Spacebar. You 3 have kind of been with us the entire time, so thank you guys for your support. I really appreciate that. I also want to give a big shout-out to the guys over at Scoon's Tavern. The folks over at Scoon's Tavern are great. They actually, I have been streaming with them now for about a year and a half, little under a year and a half, and they are a riot. Go check them out. That's actually where I'm going to send you guys to raid. They also have a VODs channel where you can check out their old stuff. So, that all being said, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for following, and we will see you hopefully next week. If not, maybe during our next campaign. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I cut off Sunny K. Oh no.
Of Baratara, shining shores, fine sailing folk are we. The line between the sea and sky, our only boundary. On crashing waves and even tides, we'll navigate the sea. Steadfast our mission in our minds to keep these waters free. Through freezing gales and tropics warm, we lot have sailed them all. In winter flows and summer storm, green spring and golden fall. Through foamy spray and clouds of gray and blinking star-filled night, we raise our anchors and our flags and sail along with might. When my time comes to an end, my bones laid all to rest. Upon the sand I'll leave the land and meet the water's breast. Deep in the brine I know that I am where I'm meant to be. A Paratar and through forever on the sea.